Emi Gurumi here. So for today's experiment, I'm going to try out DIY mug painting. And what you do is, supposedly, you take a Sharpie and you do your design on the mug, and then you bake it in the oven, and it's supposed to set it and stay. But I've read a couple things that say that if you use normal water-based Sharpies, it will just wash off. So you're supposed to use oil-based. So I'm going to try this for myself and see if it works out. And what you'll need is your oil-based Sharpie markers. And they should look something like this. And then you'll need a mug. Plain white mug. So I'm going to try this out and see if it works.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do with these markers is to shake them really, really well. And then you're probably going to want to pump the tip a couple times, maybe more like a dozen times actually, to get the ink to pump out onto the tip. Basically, all you really want to do is make sure that it's completely coated with the color of what the marker is, and then you can test that on paper to make sure that it's coming out. Okay, so here you can see that it's pretty much covered now. I just got some on my finger and it writes out now. So then, if you haven't already, you're going to want to wipe down your cup with some rubbing alcohol just to make sure that there aren't any oily fingerprints or whatnot left on there, and so that you have a nice clean slate to put your marker on. Alrighty, so once you're finished wiping it down, you can start coloring in your design. Now what you can do is print, if you have a design in mind, you can print it out on a piece of paper and cut it out and tape it to the cup. I decided to just sketch it right on there. And if you're going to do that, I would suggest to still have a picture on the side just so that you have something for reference. Unless, of course, you're just in a free-form mood, in which case, have at it. So once you're done with your design, you want to set your oven to 350 degrees and bake your mug in there for 30 minutes. And it should come out looking something like this. But when you bake it, it's important to heat the mug up along with the oven, and then once it's baked for 30 minutes, turn the oven off and let it cool down with the oven for several hours. And your design should be nice and glazed and flat and a part of the mug.
Alright, so what's the verdict? Well, I didn't really have any problems that I know of yet. This is how it turned out. So it came out pretty nice. And it feels pretty flat, and I don't think it's good. I mean, I've heard that sometimes it chips off, but I don't think that's going to happen with this. I haven't tried washing it yet. So I mean, if you do this, if you're really worried about it, you probably just hand wash it. And I think that would be fine. But yeah, it wasn't very difficult to do, except for drawing on a mug, like a surface that's rounded like this, is a little more tricky than drawing on something flat. So, you know, you might want to go with like a simple design or something with like a stencil. I did not have a stencil for what I was doing. So yeah, I just went with it. But this is going to go in a little Legend of Zelda themed care package for my friend Jackie Lantern, and I'm going to be vlogging about that, so I will be putting that up for you guys to see in the description or whatever. And yeah, so I would say approved. So yeah, thanks for joining me with this fun project, and I hope you give it a try. Bye!